people told me that I was too small, that I couldn't do this, that I couldn't do that, and I wasn't going to make it.
In the wrestling business, we have good guys and bad guys, or we used to reference heels and baby faces. The opportunity came for me to be a heel. As I turned into a heel and I began to sort of go on this journey of who this character, this gimmick would be, it just continued to grow. And it certainly unleashed in me this side of where I could just go out there and do absolutely anything. But it came out through, honestly, through drugs and alcohol. It was the only way that I had the ability to show any type of personality other than the shy, quiet kid. We used to say things, or certainly I said things like, hey man, I only party when I'm on the road. Okay, we're on the road 250 plus days a year. Hello. you know, I got into wrestling at 19. I hadn't even really found out who I was as a man yet. They all just sort of melded into one, and I didn't know where Shawn Hickenbottom ended and Shawn Michaels began, to be perfectly honest. The marriage and everything didn't happen fast enough. 6 weeks after we were married, we find out she's pregnant. And now by this time, she's realized that the little partying that you saw me doing is not just a little thing. It's like he does that every day. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've got 9 months to clean up. I went into the bathroom, closed the door, looking at yourself in the mirror, and, you know, I sat there and cried like a baby and wept.
The next morning, he told me that he was never taking pills or drinking again. And from that point, he didn't. It was our first Christmas together, and I gave Shawn a Bible and some other books, and he began reading them.
She's continuing to go to Bible study, and she's just changing, and I don't know, there's just something about her as all this is going on. She's not pushing me anymore towards anything. She's just an unbelievable mom and an unbelievable wife. So I'm yearning to be a better husband for her. So it's the weekend, and I'm getting myself into a little bit of a haze. My son's crawling on me, and I can hear him faintly say, "Daddy's tired." And for the first time ever, I realize, you know, he's 2, that he can now see that there's a difference in him. And it just hits me like a ton of bricks, like, oh my goodness. He sees it. I mean, and of course I can flash back to remembering, you got 9 months. And all these times of, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna change 2 years later, 3 years later. I can't do this anymore. It bothered me so much. Lo and behold, one day I find myself in the parking lot of Cornerstone Church. I'm drawn to this place. I know that the good Lord is trying to tell me something, and I know it's in that big building. And I said, look, I'm looking for a Bible study. The lady looks up at me, and I think she thinks at first I'm there to rob the place. This gentleman sticks his head out of his office. He's their computer guy. He says, "You can come to mine." And he goes, "Wednesday night, 7 o'clock up. I'll give you directions to my house." Well, he tells me, "Look, Shawn, to be a part of this Bible study, you've got to accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. Would you like that?" And I said, "You know something? I think I would." He leads me in the sinner's prayer, and I just weep like a baby. This feeling comes over me that it's like, it's over. They discipled me. I mean, my life was it's never been the same. And I've never touched another drug. It's so funny. I came home. I'm like, oh my goodness, the greatest thing ever. I'm driving home. I come in the door. I said, "Honey, I know what it is. It's Jesus. I'm saved." And I tell her everything that happened. She looked at me and she goes, "I know." And I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "This whole time," I've been trying to figure out. She said, "Look, I've known all along." She said, "But you needed to find this on your own." She said, "I was just so worried that if I pushed it wouldn't happen." And then she begins to tell me how all those nights after I passed out, she'd go in the closet, she'd pray for me. You know what I mean? And of course, it is, whatever it is, 15 years later, I still get, I'm just holding them back. I'm holding them back. When I was a horrific wretch, didn't pine away me, she went in there, into that closet, and prayed for me. I don't think there's any greater thing you can do for someone.
Shawn got his life together and found Christ. It was night and day. When he looks back at his life, that's the biggest thing that he ever did.
Hey, I heard Shawn found religion. Yeah, they laughed. And I said, "Well, I don't know anybody that died ODing on religion."
You know, there are little things here and there, things that I wouldn't compromise on. There was a time during my career after I went back that they wanted me to go over to SmackDown, which taped on Tuesday nights, which would have affected my wife's Bible study and mine. And it was just something I wasn't going to do. We could cut your contract in half. do whatever you got to do. I said, you need to understand the good Lord's already decided how much money I'm going to make this year. You need to change it. So he said, look, it doesn't, it's not a big budget. And of course, again, I think it does. It totally throws them off. I'd love to do it. Certainly, a faith-based movie sounds like obviously a great thing to do. And he's like, all right, well, we'll let them know. And so I think they were surprised at the fact that I wanted to do it. Made it even better that the script was really good. I've seen a lot of Christian films. I attend a lot of them. A great many of them. I enjoy some of them, not so much. I know how Christians are perceived. That's what I liked so much about this. But I was thrilled, I don't know, just to be with a different kind of group, to be in my first film and to have it be in a place where I was so unbelievably comfortable, I think was good for me.
Hey.
The biggest change for me, I think, is I live a life of gratitude and thankfulness. A lot of guys that I used to party with are no longer here. I was headed down the same road. It sounds melodramatic, but it's true. I'm amazed at the life that I've been given that I so unbelievably don't deserve.